So we've been asked a question this week that speaks to the triggers leaders have in their workplace. And the question goes like this. I was sitting in a meeting and suddenly felt disconnected. Like I could see that people were speaking, but I couldn't really hear them. So what's that about and what could I do? Hi, it's Joss and Jo here from State of You.
So first off, great awareness that you even noticed something was happening, as awareness is the first step in these situations. Also in these situations when you're triggered, like everyone can be at times, take stock. For example, if someone's challenging you, frustrating you, upsetting you, or you're finding it hard to hold space for one of your team, that could include you.
So in this particular incident, the person, we'll call her Susie, was sitting in self-judgment. She'd had the courage in a meeting to ask for support, but wasn't able to listen to it as she was scared of being judged, seen it as being inadequate, unprofessional, or that she might have done something wrong.
So notice what's actually happening rather than what you're fearing. Interestingly enough, when she reflected back, no one in the meeting reacted as if they were judging her. Instead, they looked really interested at the conversation, the support being offered, and how it could actually resolve things.
So another thing to explore is what's happening as a result. So for Susie, her self-judgment was enough to stop her focusing on others in the team meeting, stopped her contributing or being able to comment on further discussions. Her nervous system was super triggered, that good old fight, flight or freeze system. It's fabulous in real emergencies, but it's not so helpful in the made-up ones that your brain is spectacularly good at creating.
So rather than keeping on with the self-awareness stemming from that critical self-judgment, we asked some different questions. When had it started? What had she believed really triggered this? What body messages were coming up? And what she thought about it was all about. Had it happened before, and was there some pattern happening to it?
So this was really helpful for Susie. She had felt a pressure in her head, but numb everywhere else. It started when she thought her comment could be misinterpreted, as if she'd made a mistake or didn't know something she should have, and she realized that she'd stopped focusing on the team or what they needed. She'd catastrophized way beyond the reality of the meeting, and she'd even started to think that her team were looking at her with pity and that her boss was already looking at how to replace her.
So she was able to slow her breathing, briefly removed herself from the meeting so she can go and gather her thoughts. And she actually remembered that her boss appreciated her work and had given her more responsibility. Once she could reflect, step back and focus back on the team, she was able to come back and progress with the meeting.
So when you're triggered, if you need to, remove yourself briefly, even if it's just to get a glass of water, so that you can come back to what's actually happening rather than the stories and assumptions that your mind might have made up.
And let us know what happens for you when you're triggered and what helps you in those circumstances.